all those things can be different, but the spark of consciousness that is there within them remains the same. So, in this manner, we had seen the 18th verse last time. Now we move on to the 19th one. I'll quickly share it so that it becomes easier for us to understand. It's it's available for everyone right now in the chats. Okay. So in the 19th verse, it is said, those whose minds are established in equality of vision, they conquer the cycle of birth and death. See, all said and done, why are we studying Bhagavad Gita? Or why are we knowing the distinction between karma yoga or renunciation of karmas, etc.? All that is because we want to get out of the cycle of birth and death. In every birth, every second, we are confronting this Maya, and this Maya is so powerful. Many a times, she is hitting us by giving us physical pains, whereas many a times, she gives us mental agonies as well. Many a times, we do not have sufficient resources to live our life. Even that ways we are hit. So, there are many, many, many ways in which Maya, which is so powerful, will come and hit us. Therefore, a wise seeker will see to it that he will come out of the cycle of birth and death and reach the eternal and everlasting peace. Now, Sri Krishna is showing this way to Arjun that if you want to come out of this cycle of birth and death, then there should be an equality in the vision which you have. You should be able to look at everyone on the same plane, on the same line. Such individuals who possess this wisdom, they also possess the flawless qualities of God. Now, what is that flawless quality? If we say, God is impartial, He won't ever say that I will not give my mercy on some individuals and I will give mercy upon some others. There's no special treatment, there's no partiality by the divine. For that matter, look at even the nature that he has created. The sun will never say that today I am just going to rise in one part of the world and not in the other part. The moon will never say so. Even the rain, all the other resources are given to the entire world without partiality. So, in the same manner, the Supreme Divine Personality has got such qualities of being impartial. Those qualities will also be imbibed in that individual who is a wise seeker and are therefore seated in absolute truth. So that individual therefore gets a connection with the absolute truth. He becomes connected to the absolute truth. So this is what Sri Krishna explains in the 19th verse. Now, if there are any questions, any doubts, please raise your hand and let me know. In the next verse, Sri Krishna says, established in God, having a firm understanding of divine knowledge and not hampered by delusion, They neither rejoice in getting something pleasant nor grieve in experiencing the unpleasant. There is a chopai in our Vani also, which says, Harak na shok. Harak is where, we are extremely excited on getting something and it gives us a lot of fulfillment, although it may be transient. So we are rejoicing in getting something which is really pleasant to us, and we grieve on something which we do not like. But Sri Pranaji in Vani also says, Bharakhana Shuk, be in such an equilibrium of the mind where even on getting the most pleasant of the things which you want, you will not rejoice beyond boundaries. Yes, you will rejoice. But it should not be so, which will carry away you. At the same time, in tough times, in tough situations, you will not have to grieve upon those situations after all said and done. We have always been reminded of this concept. Even those difficult situations are nothing but tests in our life. And without a test, you cannot go to the next grade. So even those hardships that come our way are somewhere or the other meant for pushing us to the next grade, to the next level. So Shri Krishna says that the one who is possessing this divine knowledge, this transcendental knowledge, he will not be bothered about those pleasant situations arising or those sad situations coming up. He is in an equilibrium in both of them because he knows life is made up of good as well as bad moments. I cannot expect only good moments to come towards me and bad moments to run away from me. So, having developed this understanding, he is not hampered by delusion. We may have seen many individuals who keep on saying, Oh, why does this keep happening only to me? What have I done? Which also means that are you looking that the same bad situation which has arisen in your life should go to somebody else? No. Whatever actions we have performed will come back to us, whether in the same birth or it may be after a few births or in the subsequent birth. So, life is full of misery, sorrows, and transient happiness. You have to accept both in your account as they come. So, that is the attitude of the person who has developed this wisdom in himself. Okay, again, are there any questions regarding this? Then please let me know. Clear? Okay. So I move on to the next one. In the verse 21st, those who are not attached to external sense pleasures realize divine bliss in the self. Y'all know one word, it is Nijananda. What does Nijananda mean? The word Nijanand means the bliss that arises in the self. Nij means my own. In simple Gujarati, we may say potanu. And Anand is Anand, bliss. So potanu Anand, which means the Anand that arises within me, in my soul, is Nijanand. See here, Sri Krishna says that divine bliss in the self is experienced by the individual who reaches this wisdomatic knowledge, this level of understanding, because he will not engage in the sense pleasures anymore. He is transacting in the world. And just as we have delicious food, we love to have it, or we may like to go on an outing, he will do all those things. He's not a robot or something. He'll do all those things. Yet he remains unattached to the sense pleasures. Why? He knows all this happiness is fleeting, is transient, but the bliss which is there inside me, that is permanent. It will never go away. My dear friends, this soul within us has got 9 qualities. The main 3 qualities are Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So when we say Sat, it means pure consciousness. I'm sorry, I'll just come again. When we say Sat, it is pure existence. Chit is pure consciousness. Ananda is pure bliss. So these 3 are the main qualities of our soul. Listen to me very carefully to be able to understand to what point I am driving at. These 3 are the main qualities of the soul. And what are the 3 qualities of the world, of the body? Just the opposite of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Can anyone um, tell me what are the opposites of Sat, Chit, Anand? You'll know it. Just have to think a little and answer. Sandeep and we may have done it in our previous classes also. So if you can just recollect a bit, it'll be good. Sat no opposite. Okay, fine, no issues. I'll tell you. Sat, એનું opposite છે asat, isn't it? Similarly, the next one, chit. So chit is pure consciousness. The opposite of that is jad or inert. And the third one was pure bliss or anand, the opposite of which is dukh or sorrow. So the 3 names here are Sat, Chid, and Anand. Opposite 3 names are Asat, Jad, Dukh. Okay. And in English, when we say it is pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss. And here, Asat means unreal or false. Jad means inert. And Dukh is sorrow.
Wait, what was Asan?
Asat is unreal, false. Okay. So now I am driving to the main point. These are the qualities. What are the 3 qualities of the Atma? Let's repeat once more. Satchidanand. What are the 3 qualities of the world as well as the body? Asat, Jad, Dukh. Just imagine the pure consciousness is in between this 5 elemental body, which is false, which is full of sorrows. But the very nature of the soul is Anand, is blissful, which is why the soul is looking for Anand. It is seeking that Anand. From where can I get Anand? However, when the soul is seeking Ananda, it will seek that Anand or bliss in various objects around it. Having delicious food will give me Ananda, or going for an outing will give me an Ananda. It is constantly seeking that Ananda. However, that Anand is the innate nature of the soul itself. It need not search it outside, but with the lack of knowledge, or you may say due to ignorance, we are searching that Anand in the world, in the objects. Anand is not available in any of the objects. Anand is your own nature, and that nature has to be aroused. Since we have forgotten that we are bliss personified, we are love personified, we keep searching that bliss, love in the entire world, but no object can give you bliss. So Shri Krishna says that those who take this knowledge, this transcendental knowledge, will experience the divine bliss within themselves, in that Atma itself. They will not seek the Anand in the world. So, in this way, their own nature of the Atma, that nature has been aroused, it has been brought to the surface, which had been forgotten due to Maya. Okay? Now, having said all this, let me just connect. The name of Sri Devachandraji Maharaj is also Nijananda Swami, isn't it? Is Nijananda Swami. Why is that known? Because he is the one who gives the knowledge whereby the Atma will awaken, and that Atma, which is right now covered with ignorance, will awaken to its own nature, and its own nature is blissful. It is bliss personified, love personified. So, Sri Devachandraji is called Nijananda Swami. I hope it is clear. Maybe after one shloka, we may just have a bit of question answers to see that the understanding is going in the correct way. All right. So we did 221. Being united with God through yoga, they experience unending happiness. Once that Nijanand arises in us, then that Nijanand will not fade away. See, understand one thing, the worldly happiness which you get is transient, is fleeting in nature, because of which that happiness will slowly reduce. You have the first ice cream and you really love it. You feel like having the second, the third, and the fourth one. Up till that, it is good. After which, you feel content. Now you don't want to have any more. Now, if a friend comes and gives it to you, insists you to have one more, then it does not give the same pleasure as the first, second, third, fourth had given you. That happiness is diminishing. But as against that, the bliss which we experience in the self is never diminishing. It is always rising higher and higher. It is always increasing. So, Sri Krishna says that bliss which we can experience here is not diminishing or fading away. That bliss will increase several folds, several times. And finally, that soul merges into that unending happiness. So, here, when we experience the bliss in the soul, that will take us to unending happiness. But for the one who is stuck in the sense pleasures, he will only be able to experience the fleeting happiness and not the true one. So, that is the importance of this knowledge, which is making us or enabling us to experience the true bliss and not the sense pleasures alone. Okay, now I'll just quickly question a few things and then we proceed to the next verse. Um, this question is from the verse 19. What is the importance of having equality in our vision and mind? Yes, yes, tell us.
It allows us to have the flawless qualities of God, such as impartiality.
Yes, yes, very nice. There's one more uh, aspect which you can add to this. What you said is perfectly fine, it's correct, but you can add one more.
To exit birth and death cycle.
Exactly. Yes, it helps us to exit the birth and death cycle, to conquer over it. Okay, now from verse 20th, what should be the state of our mind, even in times of happiness and miseries? What should be the state of our mind?
Equilibrium.
Yes, equilibrium, where you neither rejoice on pleasant situations and you do not cry over tough times. You accept both as they come. So that is why it is said, that the first ever motivational speech was given by Sri Krishna himself in the midst of the battlefield 5,000 years ago when he was motivating Arjuna to develop an attitude where he could have equilibrium of his mind in both the situations, tough or easy. Now, from the 21st verse, the question is that uh, what are the three qualities of the soul?
Is it Sat Chitananand?
Yes, it is Satchidanand. Okay, and what are the three qualities of the world and the body?
Asad, Jad, and Dukh.
Yes. Okay, beautiful. Asajja Dukha. And you may also call these as, okay, let's also talk about the English names of Satchidanand. What are they? Yeah, yeah, tell us.
Asat is unreal or false. Jud is inert, and Dukh is sorrow.
So, yes, correct. I was asking about the Satchidanand. This is also, yes, I was going to ask this, but you said it in advance. So, very good.
Okay.
Uh,
Apologies.
what are the names for Satchidanand?
Pure existence, pure consciousness, and pure bliss.
Yes, perfect. Yes. So, uh, our soul is in midst of this false body. What is the soul seeking? What does it want?
Anand.
It,
Yes, it is looking for Anand because its very nature is that it is bliss personified. It is Anand. So, a person who does not have this knowledge will search for Anand in various worldly objects. But the one who has got this divine knowledge, where will he seek or search that divine bliss?
in themselves.
In themselves. That's correct. Because the Atma is bliss personified, and those who get this knowledge will be able to search for that Anand within themselves. Okay. What is the name of Sri Devchandraji Maharaj that we discussed today?
Nijananda Swami.
Yes. Nijananda Swami. So, why is he called so?
Because he gives knowledge,
He gives knowledge, and what does that knowledge do to us?
helps
Why is
us
he called Nij Anand? Yeah, please go ahead.
bliss in our soul.
Yes. He gives us that Tartam knowledge with which bliss arises in our soul, and the soul is searching for that bliss. He is therefore called Nijananda Swami. So, very good. Nice. I will now um, give you the meanings of the further verses from 22 onwards. Just a minute. Yes. You're able to see it, right? No? Mm, yes. Okay. In the 22nd verse, it is said, the pleasures that arise from contact with the sense objects, though appearing as enjoyable to worldly minded people, are verily a source of misery. Shri Krishna is making a very big statement, a very in depth statement by saying this. Because if you look at the entire world, all of them are running after the worldly pleasures. There's nobody whom you can point out is not running after worldly pleasures. Everyone, including ourselves, we want good luxurious facilities. We want very nice cars and bungalows and palaces to live in. And no matter how much ever we add to it, still there is a lust that we should get some more. There's a greed. That is human nature, that you get everything, and despite of that, you feel that you should get something more, something more. The mind basically, after getting so much of worldly happiness, it still becomes more greedier and greedier for all those happiness coming its way. Finally, at the end of the life, all those fleeting happiness sources will go away, will slip away from your hand. You will not carry any of them. And that is why it is said that all those pleasures that you're experiencing because of contact with the senses, finally they will become a source of misery. Why is that said so? Please understand the depth in this statement. Because all through your life, you were running after the fleeting happiness, cars, and things like that, the objects. But at the end of the life, you understand that nothing is going to accompany you, nothing is going to get carried forward. And this life, which was meant to experience the divine bliss, is spent in only acquiring the fleeting happiness of the world. So, that fleeting happiness is just going to make you content for a temporary period of time, but finally, it will leave you into a big miserable situation because at the end of the life, you don't have anything to back up on, to lie upon. You don't have anything to carry forward. So, Shri Krishna says, please understand, O Arjun, do not rely upon sense pleasures because they are fleeting. They become the source of misery. You keep on enjoying the sense pleasures. At the end of the life, you don't have anything to experience. The bliss is not there in the heart. Therefore, O Arjun, such pleasures have a beginning and an end. Understand that. Such fleeting pleasures will never, never, never satiate you. What can satiate you, what can satisfy you, is the bliss of the Atma, the Self. Only that Nijanand, only that bliss in you will be able to satiate you from within. And the wise men, having adopted this knowledge of mine, will never run after fleeting happiness, sense pleasures. They will want to experience the divine bliss within themselves. So, I hope it is clear. And if any questions are there, please raise your hands to ask your doubts. Until then, I will just move to the next one. In the 23rd verse, he says that those persons will be termed as yogis who, before they give up this body, they drop this body, are able to check the forces of desire and anger within them. Such yogis only are happy. Who is not hit by desire? Who is not hit by anger? Anyone and everyone in this world has a lot of desires, a lot of anger, lust, wrath, whatever you call them. But if you're able to check the desire and anger in you before you drop the body, then you will be called a yogi because you have the strength, you have the guts to question yourself, to see what is the level of desire in me, what is the level of anger in me. Let me correct myself. If you have the ability to do that, then Sri Krishna says that individual is a yogi. It's a yogi. The one who is connected with the Supreme Consciousness. He is a yogi. So only the person who gets this knowledge is connected to the Supreme Consciousness. He will be able to check his account of desire and anger, and he will be happy at the end of the life because he knows I need not fall in the anger or desire cycle that is created by the mind. It's always said, do not hold grudges in your mind. It will spoil your mind first. If I am angry over somebody, I should try to forgive it as early as possible. Otherwise, it keeps spoiling my mind. It occupies that space of my mind and does not allow me to go further. So, to check desire and anger is by checking it, you always give it up, you give it away. That is how Sri Krishna says that you always need to see what is the level of desire and anger in you. With this knowledge, you need to calm down the desire and anger within you. So, moving on to the next one. In 24th, Sri Krishna says, those who are happy within themselves, enjoying the delight of God within, and are illumined by the inner light. Such yogis are united with the Lord and are liberated from material existence. Why do we want to become a yogi? Why do we want to check desire, anger, lust, and all those things? Because having become a yogi, we will be definitely transcending uh, what do you call is the material existence. We go beyond it. So, my dear friends, we need to understand this very clearly. Once you come to this world, you adopt this body. Through the body, you can experience two things. One is the material existence, the other is the existence of the soul. When you experience the material existence, then you will see, oh my God, I have been running after it all my life, but all this is fleeting. But if you happen to experience the existence of the soul in this body, you will understand it is everlasting, it is eternal. Therefore, why should I not invest my life in experiencing the existence of the soul? Why should I waste my life in only experiencing the material existence? This knowledge is therefore the best purifier, which illumines you from within. You're able to experience yourself, that is your Atma within. Once you experience your Atma, what is the next experience? The bliss of that Atma comes on the surface, and you're always illumined, you're always in a blissful state. So Sri Krishna says that we should try to come above the material existence and try to experience the existence of the soul. After all, having experienced the existence of the soul, it is by that we will be able to unite with the Supreme Consciousness. So, having said this, now we proceed to the next one. I will just again share with you. There are only a few shlokas to conclude this chapter, and I look forward to do that. Three, four. Just a minute. I'm just trying to copy paste the last few shlokas. Yes. Are you all able to see? Yeah. Now, in the 25th verse, he says that those holy persons whose sins are cleansed, are purged, whose doubts are cleared, annihilated, whose mind is disciplined, and who are devoted for the welfare of the others, Sarvabhuta hite rataha, he says. I've just quoted that Bhagavad Gita line for you all. Such individuals attain God and are liberated from material existence. Why are we learning Bhagavad Gita? To get knowledge. What will happen through that knowledge? The mind becomes tranquil, peaceful. Sins get cleansed off. Doubts get answered. After the doubts are cleared off, the mind becomes very disciplined. It becomes your friend. It starts cooperating your journey towards the divine. And such a mind will take you to the doorstep of the divine. In this life, that mind which is your friend will help you to think about the welfare of the others as well. And finally, having performed good deeds, those good deeds will impress the divine. You get the blessings from the divine. And finally, you're able to come out of the material existence. That is why here it is said that those holy persons will attain me. That is, Sri Krishna says, they will attain me, they will come to me, and they will be able to transcend the material existence. It's a very, very beautiful shloka as we're moving towards the conclusion. The next one, the 26th verse, says that for those sannyasis who have broken out of anger and lust through constant effort, who have subdued their mind and are self realized, liberation from material existence is both here and hereafter. Again, a very, very important shloka said, why do you want to come out of the liberation, come out of the material existence? Because material existence will bind you. It will put you back in the cycle of birth and death all the time. So Sri Krishna says, how can it bind us? Material existence is using anger and lust as its equipments to hold us. When we have anger and lust, greed towards experiencing material existence, then that will be a factor which binds us in doing actions, wrong and evil actions. Which is why we cannot go or exit beyond the cycle of birth and death. So check the desire, anger, lust in you, which is how you will be able to subdue the mind. Subduing the mind is not controlling it. Subduing the mind is explaining it and bringing the mind to a peaceful level, befriending your mind. So subdue the mind and you become self realized. You know the self within. Then the result of this is that you come out of the cycle of birth and death. You exit that cycle. So the material existence will not be able to hold you or catch you, not even in this life and not even in any other life, because the life and death cycle is exited. So, in this manner, your constant effort in this particular life will help you to exit the cycle of birth and death. That's what Sri Krishna says here. Now, again, in the next verse, He says, shutting out all the thoughts of external enjoyment with a gaze fixed on the space between the eyebrows, equalizing the flow of the incoming and outgoing breath in the nostrils, and thus controlling the senses, mind, and intellect. The sage who becomes free from desire, fear, and anger always lives in freedom. It is a combination, a combo of two verses, if you see, 27th one and 28th one. Here he is saying, a yogi needs to practice this. All of us know about doing yoga. Yoga is not only external, it is not only meant to keep your physical body fit. In the true meaning, yoga is meant to keep the mind as well as the body fit. Because when you do yoga, what are you doing? Pranayam, as we say, right? You're breathing, you're holding, and you're leaving your breath. At the same time, you're made to concentrate, you're made to focus, and you are able to focus because your mind is in a peaceful state. With that peaceful mind, which is concentrated in between the space of your eyebrows, you will be able to experience the self within you. That is the beauty of doing yoga. It's not only a physical exercise. So once that mind becomes peaceful, you're able to concentrate in between the eyebrows, that space. You will experience the self, the Atma. And Sri Krishna says, once the mind has become peaceful, subdue the mind, explain the mind. Do not run after material existence because that is fleeting in nature. So, all that knowledge is poured into the mind, to the intellect, and finally to the senses. Such a mind and intellect and senses, they start supporting you in your journey towards the divine. So, in this manner, we are able to subdue the mind. That is the procedure which Sri Krishna is asking us to follow. So, my dear friends, the yogi or the individual who lives in this manner, checks his anger, desire, lust, greed, and all those qualities, subdues his mind, makes it peaceful, and sees to it that his mind and senses are always supportive to him in his spiritual journey. So I move on very quickly to the last verse. I know you don't have it, so very quickly I will also give it here. There it is. In the final verse, Shri Krishna says, having realized me as the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all the world and the selfless friend, Suhridam is the word which he uses, the selfless friend of all. What is he? Suhridam. My devotee attains peace. A very beautiful verse. So here, Shri Krishna is saying, how can my devotee attain peace? My devotee understands, my devotee knows that the enjoyer of all the sacrifices and austerities which he is performing, the devotee is performing, is me, the great Lord, the Supreme Personality, Divine Shri Krishna. And it is the Supreme Divine Personality, Shri Krishna, who is the friend of all, who wants the welfare of all. He is therefore called Suhridam. The soul or the individual who knows this will attain everlasting peace. There's a very short story, let me tell you that. A newly married couple were traveling on board. So they were in a sea voyage. And suddenly, the flood started coming, and the weather was so bad that the wife started trembling with fear because she knew that death was right in front of them. So she said to her husband, "Why don't you do something? How can we save our life?" The husband was very calm, very composed, and the wife was astonished. In such a situation where you see death right in front of you, how can you be so calm and composed? Now, the husband had a revolver. He removed it. He kept it on the head of the wife and said, "Are you feeling fearful? You should be feeling fearful from me because I am holding the gun on your head." The wife said, "No, I am not at all fearful. The gun is a weapon, but who is holding it? It is my husband. And I know it is in safe hands. My husband is not going to kill me. So why should I fear?" The husband replied, "In the same way, just as you think that I am your husband and I am not going to kill you, I do not have that attitude to kill you. The same way, the Supreme Almighty Lord is the Master, the husband of all the souls. Why will he kill us?" So, just as you are calm and composed, even when I'm holding the gun at your head, in the same manner, I am calm and composed because I know that that Almighty Lord is protecting us every moment. He will not let us die. So, my dear friends, the one who comes to know this fact is very composed because he knows every moment the grace of that Supreme Lord is following you. So, why to fear? So, let's quickly mm, go through a couple of things that we did. I'll just take 2 minutes and we can wind up for the day. I'll question from verse 22. Sri Krishna says, "The pleasures which arise from the contact of this, from the contact with the sense objects, why are they called a source of misery?" Pleasures arising from sense objects, why are they called a source of misery?
Is it because it's enjoyable to worldly minded people?
Yes, they are enjoyed by the worldly minded people. Yes, one very good answer. And Sandy, you were going to say something.
Um, it won't ever make you satisfied.
Yes. No matter how much ever you experience it, it is all fleeting, it is all transient, it will not satiate you forever. That is why it is a source of misery. Okay. Then, mm, before we drop our bodies, I'm asking from verse 23, what forces should we check?
Desire and anger.
Desire and anger. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Now, verse 24. Um, why do we need to cross over the material existing?
To escape the birth and death cycle.
Yes, absolutely correct. Because until and unless uh, you go beyond the material existence, you will not be able to exit the birth and death cycle. That's absolutely correct. Okay, the 25th verse. Um, a holy person whose sins are cleansed, whose doubts are annihilated, or you may say completely answered. He lives in that divine consciousness. Finally, what does he attain?
Liberated, I was liberated from material existence.
Yes, he'll be liberated from material existence, but what will he attain?
God.
Yes, he will attain God. He will attain the Supreme Divine Personality. Okay, 26th verse. Uh, okay, 26th is almost a repetition, so I'll move on to the 27th and 28th one. Okay, what is the need of doing yoga? Why do we need to do yoga?
Keep the mind and the body fit.
Yes, it's for both, to keep the mind as well as the body fit. When the mind is subdued, what can you do with the mind?
Understand.
You will- Yes, you will make it understand. That's what you're trying to say? Yes. So you will be able to make the mind understand and befriend the mind. Okay, final question. Do we want all our senses, mind, intellect to support us in our spiritual journey? Yes. Okay. Who will say yes? Yes. Okay. Can you say in brief why so?
Because knowledge is attained through the mind, then the intellect, and then goes to the senses.
Yes. Absolutely. Very nice answer. Now, if I were to answer this, I would have added one more aspect to it. Just imagine there are five horses attached to a chariot. If five of them are going in different directions, can the chariot move? In the same way, our mind, intellect, senses, all of them are like the horses which are carrying the chariot, which are carrying us. If they start moving in various directions, the chariot will not be able to go to its destination. They have to move together. So, when they are aiming at one same thing, only then the chariot will reach the destination. Similarly, all our mind, intellect, senses will have to move towards the divine so that we are able to attain the destination, the divine. So, Sri Krishna says, I am the selfless friend of everyone. Knowing this fact, my devotees will attain eternal peace or everlasting peace. So, with this, the fifth chapter also comes to an end. We have not been doing the verses, but I'm just trying to quote a few things from Bhagavad Gita which will stay in your mind for a long time and will help you. So, with this, we'll end our session for today. बोलो श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय श्री कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद पार ब्रह्म पूर्ण परमात्मा श्री कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद पार ब्रह्म पूर्ण परमात्मा श्री कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद पार ब्रह्म पूर्ण परमात्मा Sri Krishna Sachidananda